Welcome to the Sit Down Zumock podcast, the only podcast in the world. I'm your host, the Z-Man, the Lawson's Chip Dip consumer, has-been baller, Chad Zumock, with his Twitter. The Twitter is back. Hell yeah, Paul.
I'm excited for you, bro.
Paul,
excited.
we did it. Paul Antonio. And we got Krystle Chats from, what's your podcast?
The Healthy Gossip.
On the Comedy Pop-Up Network, which you can
Yes.
follow on Instagram at Comedy Pop-Up. And subscribe to the YouTube page, Comedy Pop-Up Network. Wait, no, what is it?
At Comedy Pop-Up.
Yeah, so you can get a look at Krystle. Get some web hits.
Yes, please.
Because that's what those creeps do. You put a pretty girl on, they're like, oh, I'm going to go see her.
Yeah.
Are we Instagram Live?
Every
not
dude
live.
just immediately thinks they have a chance. Hey, what's up?
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, go ahead and subscribe to that. And before we
Thank
get into this, let's do social media plugs. Start with ladies first. Krystle, go ahead.
Krystle Chats. KrystleChats. Krystle Chats. On everything.
Any gigs? Anything else you want to plug? Website?
KrystleChats.com.
Venmo?
Oh, K_M86.
Paul, what do you got?
If you send her $3, she'll send you a joke, and not one that was featured on Kill Tony. So she'll take care of it. So no worries.
Too soon.
We'll get into that.
Follow me.
Bro.
Follow me at the Paul Antonio. The big date coming up is the August 28th.
Yes.
Gig in Pomona, man. So it's gonna be me. Chad's gonna be there. Jamie Kennedy's on the show, and also Craig Conan and Alexis Prigo. So that's gonna be a dope show.
This is you, right?
That is me. Yes.
Alexis Prigo? Do I know her? Let me look her up real quick.
Look her up. It's always a good sign when the people you produce for don't have you on Instagram. That's a good sign. So it's cool. It's cool. No worries. No worries,
Alexis
Krystle.
Prigo. I got Alexis pregnant.
Same thing.
You actually, you don't, I feel like you don't push as much. Like, I forget. Like, because you're just.
I'm not
like,
a pushy
you're,
guy.
You're humble.
I had there's a show that I do here that's on episode 80, and I barely got them to follow me on Instagram.
Really?
And I've seen them for 80 weeks.
Well, you got a podcast coming up too.
Yeah, check out my podcast, Spaced Out with Paul Antonio. I've been doing it for years, but it's finally coming back with my new co-host, Alfred Munoz, and Atalia Price.
Okay.
a
What
good
took
one,
so
man.
long? You run a fucking network.
And I did not know that you followed me, by the way.
Really?
No.
No, I try to keep it on the DL. I try to do it secretly. I don't know, man. That show I used to do it in college, and now I do it here. It's one of those things that when you're doing so much work for other people's shows,
Yeah.
you just don't want to do any work in your spare time. So
You got to look out for yourself, bro.
you get lazy, though. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we've had some dope guests, and hopefully I could have both of you guys on the show. And
Hell yeah.
I'm
Talk
busy,
shit.
dude. I
Already
know. I
booked?
can't. I want to.
do you leave town that day?
Yeah.
I think you leave.
What
town
Yeah.
a
that day.
dick.
I'm on the road, man. But I wish you the best. I really do.
That's what
I'm
friend
here
Jola
for you,
told
bro.
me. You're here? All right,
I'm
Crystal's
here.
on it.
Well, what's cool here is I'm glad I ran into Krystle because I don't know Krystle, and I think since you do a podcast on the network, what's it about again?
Well, it's called The Healthy Gossip. So pretty much I talk a lot about my personal life. And then if someone comes on, I try to make them talk about their personal life a little bit. Typically, like with comedians, we end up just like talking like comedy, like what's going on. Sometimes I'll bring on like celebrity topics.
So how would you dig into my personal life? Give me an example.
Like who's the last person you had sex with?
Wow. Let's see. Who
Are
was
you
it?
are you single? We can start with that first. Like
Yeah, I'm single. It was this girl named Melissa in South Carolina.
how long ago was that?
It's about 6 months ago.
Okay, that's the last time you had sex.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it-
all of a sudden we're on The Healthy Gossip.
Now, yeah, we're
That's how it goes.
a
yeah.
crosscast.
And one is like how hard it is to date a comic. You know.
Yeah,
like-
you know what? That's what it is. It's like going into dating. Let's tap onto that. Like
sure.
doing this profession, being committed to this profession. I'm a full-time comic, and a lot of women think this is an attractive job. Go ahead.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, but they you're like you do a show, you meet a lot of like ladies afterwards, and they're attracted to what they saw because it's I don't know, it's a pretty confident thing, and then they realize what actually goes into it, and they're never cool with it ever. It's never worked out for me. It's worked out for like a couple weeks, couple months, and then it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Both of my last relationships, couple of months.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because of stand-up.
Yes. Well, yes, for more than one reason, not just because stand-up, but within stand-up, multiple reasons of stand-up. The last one didn't want me to talk about him on stage.
Really?
Yeah, I say that on stage. I'm like, so you want to be inside me, but you don't want to be in my set. Like, get the fuck out of here.
If you're not fucking for the material, why are you fucking at all?
I mean, you know, like,
Right.
and it wasn't even a bad joke. It was no small dick stuff. It was nothing. It was literally just like he dropped the soap in the shower, like some stupid hacky like thing. And I'm just like, really, like that's what you got upset about? Like, it was stupid.
I used to have a joke in my act. I forgot how it went, but it was about an ex-girlfriend. It was a terrible relationship. And this was a long time ago. I think she's happily married, but we hated each other. So I would do this joke on stage, and I got so much satisfaction out of it. I was dating this one girl. She was a terrible person. Let's just, for the joke, call her Michelle Marquette at yahoo.com. I would fucking love it, every minute of it. I had to give out her email address. I think she doesn't have a Yahoo anymore, but go ahead and email her, make sure.
It's at AOL if you want to check it out, at AOL.com.
That's hilarious.
At my last gig, I was hitting on the bartender. She split my lip open.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Whoa.
but it was by accident.
Why?
So-
What happened?
So we were kind of, I mean, at this point, we kept having multiple rounds. So I was with all the comics and the bartender and their ladies, and we're just having competition of who could shotgun a beer the fastest.
Oh.
So we're just doing round after round after round. So me and the bartender start like horsing around, and she has her like plastic pitcher with water and stuff, and she like doused me with water. It was a weird scene. Like everybody's just wet in more than one way. And then she takes the plastic pitcher and she starts she's like donking me on the head, but it's just like child whatever. And then she just turns and for whatever reason she just goes right in my mouth. And
Really?
breaks the plastic pitcher, and I'm just bleeding from my lip. And her response is she's like, "See, that's why you don't mess with me," and just walked away. And I
Holy
was
shit.
Like, Jesus Christ. It was fun though. I got her number. Hey, what's up?
Hey. Hi, bartender.
Did you ever date a comic?
I've actually kind of currently been approaching the idea.
Really?
Yeah. 'cause-
Dane Cook?
No,
I'm just throwing it out there.
no,
I have
no
nothing.
names. No names. No.
You could open for a Memorango
Amateurs only.
if you want.
But yeah, I would. I mean, I that's actually we talked about that on the podcast once. That it almost feels like it's cool because you force yourself to be a little bit pickier, because if you're an open mic comic, you can't really. You don't want to lose your favorite mic, or have to look at the slot at every time to show it, because you don't want to run into somebody or like not go to something, and then it just turns into this gross scene of
Yeah.
like playing. Comedy's already hard enough as it is.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So to put additional burdens into it, which is why I had to get rid of the last guy, because I was like, this is already too hard for you to put limitations on what I'm allowed to say.
Yeah.
Like, this is get out of here. Bye.
As Paul would know,
Get outta
I
here.
love to put restrictions and limitations in front of me. I cause lots of problems, and it doesn't serve me well. In fact, I see myself going to comedy clubs, like looking for certain people. I'm like, oh shit, I got to go the other way, because I've been known to start a lot of feuds and wars.
Okay.
What's your block list up to? What number?
It's getting up there. It's getting
Yeah.
up there. After this is a big story. You know about it. I think I need to address it. But I had my Twitter account stolen for over a week.
No way.
It was a verified Twitter account, and long story short, it happened in New York City with a comedian friend of mine, Dina Hashem. You remember the story about she told a joke on Comedy Central about the rapper who was tragically killed. What's his name? Triple X Tenacious.
XXX Tension.
Is that his name?
XXX 10.
I've just been saying extension. Extension cable.
I don't even know who the fuck this guy is. And I do a Google search. I listen to it. He's terrible. He's garbage.
Yeah.
So since his fans were sending death threats to this girl, she's a sweetheart, and she was scared. She made her account private, and she was like terrified by the situation. So I know her, and I saw a DJ who had a huge Twitter influence, basically saying who was the comic that made this joke. And since I'm known to get in Twitter wars and I don't care, I'm pretty thick-skinned, I said it was me. And then he starts sending everyone after me, and I can handle it. I'm cool. You can say kill my mom, rape my aunt. I don't give a shit. They're sending me death threats, but I wasn't afraid. I had a show that night at Zany's. Then they found out my family's information. Not even my mom's or my aunt's last name. They found out her profile pic, and she got scared. So I'm like, shit. So I made a police report just on their behalf. Next thing you know, one of the fans, I was on stage. They broke into my Twitter account, changed the password, changed everything, changed the name, unverified me, and I didn't have my Twitter account. It was the scariest thing ever. I was annoyed because they downloaded all my personal information, went through my DMs.
Yeah.
And, I have some, private information in there.
Yeah.
But luckily, a lot of the fans and listeners stepped up, reported it, and Twitter did the right thing and gave me back my account. Not my name, but I got the account back. So
Yeah. Are you keeping the handle?
no, I had to change it.
They
It's
changed
Chad Zumock 3 right now. If you want to follow me, I'm gonna get my name back, Chad Zumock. It's coming back. But we live in this day and age where anybody can break into your shit. So, like, people are like, "Well, you brought it on yourself." I'm like, "No, think about it. Anybody can break into your shit now. It's a crime. That's a crime. It's not just some funny going back and forth ribbon. Like, you legitimately broke into my shit. It's like breaking into your car, breaking into your house."
My friend, who's a basketball player in the Philippines, he didn't get his account back. Like, they broke in, stole it, and they said, "Give me $5,000 if you want your account back." And he never
Really?
he never got it back, and he was verified. I never got it back.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Instagram. I'd be devastated because I ran into a comic and he saw my Instagram. And he's like, "Hey, he's like, do you have a manager?" And I'm like, "No, bro." I'm like, Instagram. Like, I book all of my shit through Instagram. Like, "Hey, you want to do this show?" Sure. So like, I would be devastated because I don't use Facebook. You know, I
Yeah.
hardly tweet. You know, like I literally. So please don't break into my Instagram because I'm gonna have to start over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely change the password from Krystle123 to something else.
Okay. Yeah.
But Twitter's dead, though, no? You don't think that Twitter's dead?
It's still relevant as long as the president of the United States tweeting up a storm. It's going to be a thing, and I get a lot of my highlights there. I'm a big sports dude, so I'm constantly. I use Twitter to get information like box scores, and I write the occasional joke. But more importantly, I just use it to cause shit.
Yeah. The only thing I've ever had from my Twitter has been people threatening me for ad shows. Like
Really?
that they're going to show up to shows. That's the only thing. I was like, well, nobody else shows up to my show, so at least that's another number in the seat. I'm happy with it.
You're cool if they want to kill you, just as long as they buy a ticket.
Yeah, the only time I've ever done anything on Twitter is when people are mad at me. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden I start getting all their fans in, and I'm like, well, check me out. Plus, I gave my original account cancer.
You gave it cancer?
Yeah, by accident.
Okay, explain this to me.
All right, so there was a program that what it was used for was to delete any problematic tweets that you may have. So I decided to do this program, and now whenever I would send out a tweet from that account, it would automatically delete the tweet.
Yeah.
But everything was up from 2015. So when you would go on my account, it would just show all my stuff from 2015.
Really?
So I had to start over. Yeah, so I only have like 70 followers, and it's sad.
Well, you know, what are you going to do
I need a GoFundMe.
this day and age? So you get creeped on a lot on your Instagram, Krystle?
No, not really. Actually.
Really?
No, I have like 3,500 followers,
Okay.
and 1,000 of them are from India.
India. Why are they following you?
Because I was on Jabi Kawai's YouTube channel, and he has 1 million followers, and he does Bollywood film reviews and other things. So,
Like I'm starting to get like 'cause I was late to the Instagram game. Like I thought it was gonna be a fad like Vine, and
Yeah.
little did I know it's gonna be the biggest social media platform of all time. So now I'm playing catch up, and I work with a comedian named Godfrey a lot. He's a good friend of mine, and he has a huge following on Instagram, and because he's been hanging out with a lot of Instagram influencers. Like what was that dude's name? King
Bach.
Bach. Yeah, that dude.
Hmm.
So
He's huge.
Yeah, he's huge, and I guess he was huge on Vine. Like he was like the #1 dude on Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his story was that apparently that he was an actor and he was not getting booked for anything. Like they were just not booking him. So he's like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna make my own shit." And boom, huge.
I think I'm inspired to do that
You should.
because I'm frustrated too. We're all frustrated.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nobody's coming to my show in Pasadena. It's cool.
So
It's
you
fine.
guys go to his show in Pasadena.
Can you guys please come to my show August 2nd in Pasadena?
And Paul Antonio.
Yeah.
But if
follow
I could be disconnected from this shit, I would do it in 5 seconds. But unfortunately, we're in this. We need it. We have to
Yeah.
do it. Like, there's nothing more than I hate than this, and I'm doing this, and I'm guilty. But it's just like I feel like it's part of the game. Like Bert Kreischer, that's his brand. That's what he does all the time.
Yeah. It's
But he
just,
has to do it.
it's crazy that so many companies, like, you just need social media. I'm on the freeway getting to the studio today, and I'm in back of a food truck that has their Instagram
You're in
handle
back of a
plastered.
food truck.
Yeah, not like working,
Oh.
but like driving in back
Yeah.
of a food truck. And they have their Instagram handle plastered all over. I'm like, that's their entire business. It's that Instagram account. If they lose that Instagram account, they lose all their clientele
Yeah.
for the most part.
That's the thing with my Twitter. I was like, it's part of my business, man. It's like you're fucking with my business, promoting shows, interacting with fans. So you need this nonsense.
And some people will hire someone to do their Instagram.
A lot of people are doing that. I
'cause
got to do that.
It's so much work. Well, and then actually, my very amazing friends Peter Surs and Hannah Khan were talking about me on an episode today, and they were like, "Oh, she's addicted to her phone." It's just like, no. And then Peter said, "Oh, she's just playing the game. Like I'm always, live if I have to. I barely go live. Hi, Sean." And then, but I am constantly posting stories.
Okay.
Like I'll have like so many things like.
Looks like a
that-
braille line.
Right. Well, that because you want to pop up on people's feeds because if you don't, the algorithm or whatever, like you'll just.
Is that what happens with the stories?
Yes.
I'm learning as we go. So if it's hopefully
and
someone.
then what you need to do is if you post, you have to put it on your story, new post, so people click on it because sometimes they'll see your story but they won't see your post. It's a whole game.
So
I
the
can
po-
teach you later.
Yeah, please. I need help.
But okay, I'll teach you.
Yeah, I got to
We're
figure this
doing
shit out. This day and age.
Instagram lessons with Chad.
Yeah, 101 learning.
They'll tell you I'm the one who is definitely equipped to be able. I mean, not that I have a huge following or anything, but I get it.
Yeah. No, it's just what you got to do in this day and age with everything. So why'd you guys get into comedy? Let's talk about that.
So I started in 2013. I was with one of your best friends in comedy, Mr. Ian Bag.
Ah,
and,
Ian.
And he had his show. I hit him up to basically be an intern on his show, and before I knew it, I was like working the board on the Ian Bag show back in the day. So I was always around comedy, and I used to write all these jokes. So I had a notebook filled with jokes, and of all people, Jen Murphy
Oh, yeah.
was the one who was like, "Yo, Paul, you have this whole notebook full of jokes. Like, why don't you just get up on stage?" So it took me a while, but I finally went in and did it. But I've always been around comedy.
Jen Murphy was the one.
She's the one that pushed me up on stage, yeah, because she just said, your jokes are good. I would use the jokes during my radio show. So even though I'd be writing material, I just use that for bits on my radio show.
Yeah.
I wanted to get on stage, but I was a pussy. So the first ever open mic I went to, they called out my name back at the Flappers in Claremont back in the day.
Ah.
So they called my name, and I just pretended like I wasn't there. The very first open mic.
That's
So
what
they're
I should have done last night.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, that's crazy. So they're like, "Where's Paul? Where's Paul?" And I'm just, "He must have left. That's crazy."
What
Yeah.
is the name of your podcast?
Sit Down Zumock.
This is I'm on Sit Down Zumock.
This is the thing about Instagram. She's gonna have to constantly remind throughout the live stream. So
Subscribe. No, I
Well,
named,
they know it's not the healthy gossip.
the listeners know the reason why it's called Sit Down Zumock is 'cause I had a 7th grade teacher named Mr. Willis who was caught on a tape recorder. That's how long ago it was. On my 8th grade field trip to Washington, D.C., he was yelling at me on the loudspeaker. He was telling us where we were going, and all of a sudden he's like, "Sit down, Zumock," and he mispronounced my last name. So all throughout high school, everyone would be like, "Sit down, Zumock, sit down, Zumock." So it was constantly, I was like, all right, it's the name of my podcast.
Okay,
So,
I love it.
and I have the actual soundbite in the beginning of him yelling at me.
And your energy matches it.
I
That's
have,
good.
what's my energy?
Sit down,
Disobedient?
yeah.
Disobedient. Oh yeah, I'm a bad kid. I'm a bad kid. So that's why it's called Sit Down Zumock, just to get you up to speed. So for a female getting into comedy, I was just talking about Godfrey about this. I don't understand why and call me a chauvinistic, sexist asshole. I don't understand why females would want to get into this profession. I have no idea. Like it's such, like I look at a girl like Nikki Glazer, who's a friend of mine, and she's on the road every fucking weekend, just grinding, hotel, travel, and it's just
Right.
like, this game is so hard. Is like you said, it's hard enough. Like
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
understand anybody want to go to this nomadic journey of self-approval. I don't get it for a female who, you probably get all kinds of attention on by itself. You just love the art of the comedy or what?
So I feel like I need to say this because I've already been called out once. Because last night I lied on stage and said I've only been doing comedy for 3 months. I actually did my first mic 11 years ago,
Oh,
and
so you're 11 years in.
No, not at all. I'm about a year in this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I did it 11 years ago in Texas at LOL Comedy Club. Shout out. And
San Antonio, right? I think I'm booked there.
no way.
Coastal Entertainment.
What? I have
Linda, call in.
I have like 1,000 followers from San Antonio. So guys, go check out Chad.
Yo, San
Yeah, what
Antonio or
day?
India, wherever you go.
I'm going to India.
Either one of those markets.
Yeah, I went just to check it out because I was asking a friend of mine, like Abe, how to get into comedy, and he's like, just go to mics. So I went to go check it out, and I think there was only like, maybe 10 people there signed up. I literally wrote down a couple of notes on a napkin, and then I just was like, I'll go up. I'll go up. And I talked about my mom, because as I do. And then basically, I liked that. I liked that because in San Antonio, it's obviously it's a cliquey thing, kind of like maybe Orange County is a good comparison. Like it's a lot of familiar faces. So you go, you do it. I think I was doing like maybe 3 times a week. But then I moved out to LA, and I was just kind of scared. I didn't want to just start showing up to clubs, and then I'm still poor, where it's like you got to pay for parking. Am I going to buy drinks while I'm there? Am I even going to get up, etc. So I was an actress out here. I was taking an acting class, Aaron Spicer Acting Studio, and then one of my classmates.
You were an actress in LA?
Shut the fuck
Holy
up!
shit.
I know, right? It's a big.
How did you do it?
So my friend Dan Stransky took this class called LA Stand-Ups, and I was like, I have to get back into this. And then I took the class, and I started doing, that was like maybe 7 years ago. I started doing like mics again, but again, not the real grind.
Right.
Like this past year is the first time I've ever actually like I've been a comic. Like I've actually done it where I'm like going to multiple mics a day, 5-6 days a week, whatever. And
because you can't fake it. This is the only profession you cannot fake. It's just like going to the gym. If you don't go to the gym, you're gonna be a fat slob. But if you go to the gym every day and you hit the weights, it's the same shit. If like Joe Rogan, like physically, and his comedy game's the same way. Like he's in the gym, on stage, and in the actual gym. You got to do it.
Exactly.
Just can't fake the funk.
Yeah, the discipline of the game. Yeah.
I lack discipline in my life, Paul. Can you guys give me some tips on how to be disciplined more?
I actually have discipline tattooed on me.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
I got to get the tattoo?
No.
Yeah, that's step one.
Step 1, get the tattoo. So
It's her merch.
So you see it.
I'm going to make it a tramp stamp. Discipline. or above my stomach, like Tommy Lee Mayhem, I'll say discipline.
Discipline, as I tried to do a joke last night that I've been doing for almost a whole year, and I fucked it up. That's the level I was on last night.
It was just the nerves and the alcohol, right?
Well, I added because I even heard somebody do something about shootings, and I was like, oh my God. And because I think I heard them say school shootings, I added the word school, which kills my whole joke. So then after that, I was like, okay, I guess I'll do this other stuff. It was trash.
I was school shooting heroin the other day. Is that what it was?
I like a good school shooting joke if you could pull it off.
I mean, it's such an easy, simple, like, I think it's a clean joke. Like,
I tried
intended.
I tried a school shooting joke on stage once, and I said school shootings would be awesome if everyone had super soakers. It's kind of dumb, but
it's a great joke.
Thank you, buddy.
But mine is a mass shooting joke, and I say something about school shootings in it, so it's not even a school shooting joke. And I think it's. Do you want me to say it?
Go ahead.
It's just basically
give away your
like,
material. Blow it.
I will. I will.
It's the perfect place to do it.
Honestly, after last night, I might retire.
It's the perfect place to do it. No one's listening.
all it is I say, do you guys have a favorite shooting? Mine happened at a video game tournament. Allow me to incorrectly use the word martyr, because he basically just went in and shot up a room full of school shooters. Yeah, I'm attacking the video game community.
I get it.
Right. So it's like when it said so, it's like, because literally when I heard that, it blew my mind. That I'm like, how do you shoot up your own people? Like, what do you mean? You went in and you shot up a bunch of gamers, and that's why I was like, I think it's magical that happened. Like, the world is so fucked.
Those incel on incel
right?
violence.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you a gamer?
No, I'm not a gamer.
That whole subculture.
And he doesn't like movies.
And I don't like movies. I look like every nerd in the book, but
You hate everything.
I'm a sports guy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
That whole gamer subculture is so weird. It's like a whole new world of things that I don't even know who they are, but they're powerful people. These gamers.
Yeah.
And they're making money.
They're making cash off this shit.
They're
Games.
making money.
What was that Fortnite kid just made $3 million at a
What
tournament?
the fuck's going on?
It's insane.
I grew up playing Donkey Kong. I can't make any money off that shit.
Well, it's because the big thing is people online watching these kids play and giving them money to play the video games for them, essentially.
So I just had an idea. I have one of those, like, you buy them for like $200 off of Amazon. Shout out to Matt. He gave it to me. And it has like all the old school, like it even has like a Beavis and Butthead game on there.
Yeah.
I'll record myself, and that's how I'll do the Patreon.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you guys want to watch me play Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah.
Because these like, kind of like, have you seen those the YouTube channels where all the girls are doing is just eating food.
It's
And
like a
they're-
fetish
They're
thing.
getting
Yeah.
millions of views for just eating food. I'll do that hacky stuff for sure. Like, you
Yeah.
guys want to watch me play Beavis and Butthead for 2 hours? Like, let's do it.
And the secret of it is just accidentally show your butthole one time, and then that'll launch you.
How about, can I start with just like an armpit or something? Like, God, a butthole.
There's girls that are
So
like
much.
that little oops has launched them into like the millions.
Like this dress, I could easily just like a nip slip.
Yeah,
know,
there you
like-
go. And then you got
Oh.
$1 million on your Patreon.
Okay. Cool.
It's not a bad idea.
Right.
I grew up in an era where talent was rewarded. Like you had to have talent. But this day and age, it's the Wild West. If you show an armpit, you're insta famous. Like what the fuck? What is
Yeah.
going on? Paul Newman's
My-
rolling around in his grave right now.
My favorite one is Stephanie Searly. She like she does sexual things to fruit on Instagram, and I'm obsessed with her.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. You want me to show you? It's beautiful.
Yeah, show me on the podcast.
Yeah.
Show me on the banana.
You're gonna love it. But anywho, yeah. So I'm not gonna finger.
How many
fruit,
followers
but
do you have for doing sexual things to fruit?
I'll tell you.
I'm gonna fuck a cantaloupe tonight on Patreon. $3 a month, you could watch me fuck a cantaloupe. What if that was my thing? I fuck cantaloupes.
Someone will pay. Okay, what's she doing?
Okay, that's like popping a zit. She's like squeezing a
Uh.
banana.
And then she'll like.
That made me uncomfortable.
Come on, that's hot.
She has a great imagination. She's
As a chubby kid, I'm like, just eat it, just eat it.
she's
It's
like playing
it's
with a
hot.
How many
grapefruit.
followers does
She's
she
playing
have?
with a grapefruit like it's a vagina, and
And-
it's like,
and she's verified. 435,000.
what the fuck is going on?
I like that she's verified though. That they're like, are you really the person that's fingering this fruit?
I wish I was born in the 50s and I died in 2013. I don't want to be around where somebody's fingering fruit
Yeah.
for followers. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, that's what's headlining the Improv for the.
Oh, I know.
That's the next weekend at Ontario.
She probably could sell tickets to a club and sell this shit out, just playing with fruit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck these jokes, man.
Jesus Christ. There's people who like. I remember one time I did Irvine with Gene Pompa,
Yeah.
and we go out there and it's not the best audience. Maybe 70 people in Irvine, which is like it feels like you're in a cave. And the next week was this group called Game Grumps,
Yeah.
and what they do is they play video games on stage, and they were sold out for the whole weekend. That they were just continuously adding shows.
If you're buying tickets to see people play video games, you're a loser.
Yes.
A loser.
Yes. Or I feel like all the people that hacked your Twitter are the same people that pay money to watch people play video games.
Losers.
Well, shout out to Geeky Teas, and I believe it's Burbank.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is geeky, and they have like it's called like the Geeky Basement or something, which actually inspired me to bring back that damn shooter joke. So now I blame the place.
You're gonna
just
shoot it
kidding.
up.
Yeah, that's right. And apparently they have like they dress up and then they go like fight each other
Yeah.
and stuff in their
No, if you're a
costumes.
gamer and you listen to my podcast, hit me up. Like, send me. No, I want to know what the hell. I will hang out with you for a day to figure out this subculture. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe you're onto something that I don't understand. Maybe I'm just closed-minded,
Yeah.
or maybe I know everything and I think it's dumb. I don't know. But I'm open to new things, but I just don't get it. Especially paying tickets to see someone play a fucking video game. Fuck that.
Mhm. I mean, some people want to watch the Clippers. Some people want to see somebody play the Clippers on 2K. You never know, man.
Well,
You
and
never know.
someone asked me, they're like, well, wait, they're like, you don't watch movies or TV? And I was like, I watch Instagram.
Really?
Like, I mean, you know, I'll scroll, but because sometimes when I'm watching TV, I'll become uninterested and I'll just look at my phone because you can control what you see on Instagram, you know.
Yeah. I like to wonder how many people that watch my stories just skip it. You know, the ones that they like.
They got a stat on that. You can look
Yeah.
up the analytics of who's
does it-
skipping, who's
Are you a
forwarding.
business page?
I am a business page.
Well, then yeah, you can see
It'll
it.
just show
Mhm.
because I'm always like, people don't watch my story. I'm
Well,
like, they're just.
I
clicking
know
past.
out of my 3,500 followers, maybe 10 actually watch mine because
Really?
because they tell me. They're like, because I'll say,
I watch your stories.
well, I'll say that's how you do it. You say, in the middle of one, you just go, I don't know if any of you are actually watching this. And they'll respond. They'll go, I am.
Oh, you got a thirsty girl it. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. I'm a
Mhm.
thirsty girl it.
Yeah.
Be
Dude,
like, "I
I'm
know you guys
going
don't
all
like
in.
me."
I'm so in on the Instagram game. I'm all in. I'm dedicating myself to that stupid app just because.
Can we post on your Instagram right now?
Yeah, I want to sell some tickets. Damn it.
Yeah. Let's post on your
I'm
Instagram.
trying to-
That's how you do it right now. They want to know what you're doing right now.
You know what's
Just-
But
bad?
I'm working.
That's his work.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
work, but I'm
This
doing a podcast.
Well, let me do it for
There's
you.
a construction worker right now going, what the fuck? Who cares? And this guy's just trying to get through his day. This guy's trying to, okay.
No pressure.
Okay, no pressure. I'm doing my podcast during the. Okay, explain what's going on.
He doesn't know how to use Instagram properly, so
I'm trying.
we're gonna post on a story.
This is the story.
Comedy pop up.
Hi, we're doing the podcast. Sit down, Zumock. Subscribe, everybody.
And
This is so annoying to the listener right now.
And buy
Yeah.
tickets.
Follow
Buy
me.
tickets.
Follow me if you're in Pasadena this weekend.
Where you at this weekend?
I'm at the Ice House.
Oh, okay. What day?
Friday, I'm doing the late show on stage 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might pop out there just because I like talking to D and I like that spot as a hang.
Yeah, it's a dope spot. I think. What are your favorite clubs right now to like hang out at?
Well, when I first started was in 2005. The Hollywood Improv was the shit. That was the spot. And they remodeled it, and it lost its vibe. It got very corporate. I love Rita. I love everybody over there, but it's just not the hang anymore. I know the store is the hot thing, commodity, and I like going over there, but there's too many people that hate me over there. So, but I'll go out to Ice House, dude. Like
Yeah.
D Burnett out there, she's running it. She's doing it the right way. I love that club. I always say if you bomb at the Ice House, you better just quit doing comedy because that room is fire, man.
Oh yeah.
But Ontario Improv, they're very good to me. They give me a lot of work, so I like
Yeah.
going out there. So Southern California, I see where the hot comedy spots and Comedy Magic Club. I like going out there when Richard throws me something. But I try to as I get older, I don't try to cling onto the hot thing. I go to the opposite direction. Like
Yeah.
whatever the trend is, I'm going the opposite way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because I just don't like that mob mentality. I just want to be original and do my own thing.
Yeah. Plus, you never. I mean, if you're just doing what everybody else is doing, you're never gonna stand out. I guess. Like,
Yeah,
the
and it's
same
just I just see people. The thing about comedy is there's so many followers in this game, and everyone's scared to piss somebody off and stuff. And I realize it's a boogeyman; it doesn't exist. So I say what I want, I do what I want. Sometimes the immediate reaction doesn't serve me, but long term, I had a comic come up to me yesterday, and I hadn't seen this kid in forever. And I'm not gonna name his name because I don't throw him on a bus. He goes, "I love what you're doing on social media. You don't give a shit. It's refreshing, dude. They follow everything you do." And it meant a lot to me. I was like, "Oh, cool," because I feel like at times I'm ruining my career, but people seem to enjoy me just being honest because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of honest people out there right now,
And
especially in what we do.
And that kid, Louis C.K., ladies and gentlemen, it was Louis C.K. that told me that.
Louis.
Well, I'm a young comic that's barely getting into the clubs. You know, like
Sure.
I do maybe two club
Ditto.
dates a month. You know, which is great starting out. Especially, I'm 3.5 years in technically. You know, so I look at these places, and there's some places that kind of big dog you a little bit, but like the Ice House has always been great to me. Ontario's always been great to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If as a young comic, go get in where you fit in. If they're taking care of you, do it. Don't worry about the store. Don't worry about you're not getting. I used to get spots at the Hollywood Improv all the time, and Paige is overwhelmed, but she doesn't give me spots anymore. But that's cool. It'll come back around again.
Yeah.
So just get where you can get the stage time.
The store one time wouldn't let me into the belly room even though I was on the show at first. I was like, "No, I'm a comic on the show." They're like, "No, hang out here."
Yeah.
For like 30 minutes, I was just hanging out. And they're like, "Okay, you could go in now." I was like, "Jesus Christ, it's a little harsh," but I guess people just got to know you.
See, I started the store the store was nothing when I started. It was dead. It was where comedy went to die, and Hollywood Improv was the hot spot, and so was the Laugh Factory when Dane was coming up through MySpace. So it's interesting to see this turn of events in 2019, how the store is like the place to be. But my advice to any young comic: just get in where you can. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that shit. It'll come. Keep talking to people, keep networking, and keep getting on stage. Keep writing.
Keep going to mics.
Keep going to mics. Keep
Yeah.
doing Kill Tony.
Yeah.
Well,
That's not a mic.
It's a
It's a
credit.
death sentence.
So I feel like there's also an interesting thing now in comedy where, and not to make this purely about comedy, but where the new thing now is DIY, like producing your own shows and stuff. So I'm stuck in this rut of everything that I produce 9 shows a month now. Like I'm up to 9 shows a month. So I am giving myself the majority of the stage time.
Good.
Yeah, but I don't know
As
how
you
much that's
should.
I don't know how much that's gonna hurt me in the long run because I'm not using those days to go out to different places.
Well, I see a comedian named Brian Marnark who does a bunch of shows around town, very successful shows, and he's got great comics. But he's somehow used that as a producer and getting himself work. Like he opens for Dane, he gets his own headlining gigs.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's the formula now: is you got to produce your own show. Comedian friend of mine, Sam Tripoli, does a bi-weekly show at the Comedies. That dude's been on TV, but he's producing shows. So you got to go that route, and I think that's where I'm going to have to go too.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah. So I say get in with a club and produce.
Yeah, I book for a show, and it's at the Ice House, and then my mic has been so successful that's why I want to start producing my own show, because like I host mic once a week in Long Beach. If you ever want to go practice that, I'll feature you for out there. It's like called the Aurora Theater, and it's such a great room, and comics love that room because it's so refreshing to be in a place where people are like obligated to like face you, you know. It's like, so it's really nice. And but we always have an audience, which is great.
Well, let's do. I'm in.
All right.
Long Beach, LBC, home with Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Absolutely, we'd love to have you.
Fuck yeah!
And shout out to the OC comedy scene, because I'm new to the OC comedy scene. I'm an IE guy, so that's what's funny too is out here in LA, there's 3 different scenes in LA. You have the LA scene, which of course is the main scene. It's with all the big fish. You have the OC scene, which is its own clique, and they have like the rec room. Then you have this Inland Empire scene, which is east of LA. Which
I love them.
It's crazy for stage time. There's a mic out there, a mic that gives you 20-minute sets.
Really?
A mic.
Where's this at?
It's Saturdays at man, what's it called? Now I don't know what it's called. Cal Poly Innovation Brew Works at Cal Poly Pomona.
There's people there?
There's people there. And
Damn.
they'll give you 20-minute sets on a Saturday.
Do you buy the 20 minutes?
No. You go out there. I mean, you support the room, you buy a beer, but at the same time, yeah, you don't have to pay for that 20 minutes.
I'm actually thinking about taking the 10-minute spots off of my mic, just because it can get painful. You know, when the wrong person buys 10 minutes, it's like,
oh, you have you sell them the 10-minute spot?
Yeah,
oh,
and I'm just kind of like, hey, bro, I'm gonna light you, and here's your $5
That's
back because I'm only getting 5. You know, because when it's popular and it's not slotted, a lot of people show up, and you forget. If, you know, 5 people by 10 minutes, I mean, holy crap, there's your night, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I run a mic out in Santa Ana that I have featured spots on, and my show has a budget, so I get to pay the featured comics. But the open mic portion of it, last time I think we hit 22 comics or something like that. So you're there for 3 hours just chilling. It's crazy, man.
I got the idea. I'm only going to sell 3 10-minute spots.
There
They're
you go.
sold out. 10 minutes sold out.
That's
only
perfect.
3 people get.
$57 each.
Look at this.
Thank you.
We're figuring shit out.
Yeah.
Right?
This podcast is about figuring it out.
We're sitting down.
We need to go into business
figuring it
together. Let's start a show together, guys.
Yeah, I like
You
it.
guys want to start a band? Let's do it. I'm in.
I miss being in. I used to I started in sketch and all that, and I miss camaraderie and brainstorming and coming up with things. But I also like the isolation as stand up and just being by yourself. I just like going somewhere by myself, leaving by myself. It's refreshing at times. I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm not even.
It's okay.
It's cool, and I love that because comedy is a solo game and stuff. But I also have, like, me personally, I have my 3 guys that I run with, where it's like the 4 of us, and the fact that I get to do shows with those guys too, it almost feels like a little improv troupe, even though we're each just doing stand up solo.
Yeah.
It's cool to be able to grow with these other guys, you know. Plus they make me look good, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, because they stink.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just kidding.
I choose my friends wisely. Krystle, you want to go on the road with me? No, I'm just joking. Just joking.
My comedy crew is this 22-year-old or 1-year-old like Vietnamese kid with such a thick accent, and then a lady who is a pharmacist. So we're like the odd trio, you know.
Yeah.
Like just, I'm a bud tender, you know. So it's like we're just this odd group of people walking around. It's like we're comics. It's like, okay, now it makes sense.
I need a crew. I need a posse. I need a
Well,
roll.
it's a little different when you're on the road, obviously. But
Yeah, but I want to roll with a crew, man. I gotta assemble. I want to like Ocean's 11 crew. I want a guy who's, who knows computers. Guy who knows how to break into anything.
Yeah.
I got a guy who's the muscle. I'm putting together this crew. Email me, chadzumock3@gmail.com if you want to be in my crew, the Sit Down Zumock Posse.
The Zoo Crew, guys. Come on, let's do
Zoo
this.
Crew.
The Zoo Crew.
That sounds like some morning hack radio show. The Zoo Crew. All right. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be playing Name That Booby. I don't know. You ever do morning radio, anybody? It's terrible.
No.
The only time I did it was in Redlands, in California. It was
Yeah.
super ghetto. But.
When you start doing the road, you got to go and do. For some reason, this model in comedy is you got to do the morning radio to promote the weekend, and then you go into some bumfuck town and this radio DJ who's been there for 27 years.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He hates his life, and you come in and he's just like he just goes through the motions. He doesn't really want you there. You don't want to be there, but you got to promote your shows. But meanwhile, radio is not as strong as it used to be. So
right,
because there's podcasting and Instagramming and everything else. So
Pandora,
Pandora.
Like, no one's listening to the radio. It's like.
Yeah.
It's like,
speaking of Pandora,
Tidal or whatever.
Let me go ahead and plug me again. If you have Pandora, make a station with me. I have 3 albums, and just play that thing over and over. Chad Zumock, it's your mission to do so. You can listen to all my material for free. Well, not for free, but if you're on Pandora, please make a station. Thank you. I had to do a commercial for myself.
Good. I'll do it for you.
Do you guys want to call Ryan Hoppy in Tampa?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Now, Ryan, we used to work
You're
together.
gonna FaceTime him?
No, I'm calling him. We're going to be on 2 podcasts, okay?
Okay.
This is going to be, this Ryan is a kid I know. He's a big radio guy. He loves comedy. He wanted me to do his podcast. I said, well, I'm doing my podcast at the exact same time. He goes, let's do a swap cast. So you can be on a podcast. I'm going to make sure he puts you on the title, too.
For sure.
So let's call him Ryan Hoppy. And for my Cleveland audience,
You should FaceTime him.
I think he's recording audio.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Just make sure your volume's all the way up, or else.
yeah, we got to do.
we're not gonna be
Where's
able
FaceTime audio?
Oh yeah, that's way
Because that's clearer, right?
way better.
You're my tech lady. You're part of the crew.
She's the person that hacked you on Twitter.
Okay, there it is.
There it is.
Okay. Can you
That
hear?
sounds really good.
Can you hear it in your headphones?
Yeah, I can.
I like how you said it sounds good when it's just ringing.
Well,
You're like,
for
that's
sure.
crystal clear.
It is.
Crystal clear. What's up, everybody?
Is he answering?
Answer your phone.
Answer your fucking phone. Sorry.
I think he's interviewing Joe DeRosa instead.
By the way, comedian Joe DeRosa is supposed to be here today. I don't know what the hell happened to him.
He'll call back.
All
I
right.
call it 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
30 seconds.
I think you've dealt with ex-boyfriends before.
Absolutely. Several. Pick a year.
All right. Well, it's not like this is the get of guest. So if he calls, he calls. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Ooh, burn.
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 How long you been doing your podcast?
I'm on episode, the next one will be 15.
Ooh.
But my podcast was called Krystle Chats Podcast before. And then when I joined the studio, I just wanted to change the name. It's like Krystle Chats. And then, because I didn't want to necessarily have a topic, if you will, that I was obligated to. I was wrong. He didn't call back in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I really enjoy it, and that would honestly be a sick dream for me to just be able to be a professional host, and just shoot the shit with a bunch of really fun, cool people. As we're, could you imagine just being paid for this? You know, you don't
exactly.
have to go to the clubs and just beg for laughs. You just pray.
That's what I'm trying to do with the Patreon. I want to build it to the point where I could just live off of that and do the podcast and direct from the talent to the consumer, no middleman, no manager, nothing. That's the goal, because in this day and age, you can do it. It's anarchy. It's the internet. It's the Wild West. You don't need people telling you what you can and can't do. You don't need a program director. You don't need a producer. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And that's the goal. We'll see what happens. But
I have a Patreon too.
okay, what is it? Plug it.
Well, it's just Krystle Chats. Yeah.
It's Crystal Chats
Crystal-
Feet at. No, I'm joking. You should have a tier chat on your Patreon where if people donate a certain amount, you'll start shit with whatever comic they want.
That's a good idea.
Right? $500.
I will shit on anybody.
Anybody for $500. Norm, whoever.
1 second.
See
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Holy shit.
What is that?
Alright.
What is
My
it?
Patreon.
This is the worst part is she has no posts and she has
I don't know how it works.
$365 a month.
You haven't you're getting $360. You haven't
To do
posted
nothing.
anything.
Only for
It's a
1
rip
month.
off.
I wish I had a vagina, goddammit.
Oh, so I didn't know I was supposed to post.
Yeah, you're supposed to put
Oh.
posts there. Unless
Oh, well, thank you. See, this is why I don't know Patreon.
yeah. So
So
Patreon is supposed to be for
hookers.
yeah, for hookers.
It's the new.
I have a friend who, and I don't know if I should be saying this, but I have a friend who
1 second.
I have a friend who put she has a Patreon, she's a model,
Mm-hmm.
and she had the top tier is her nudes and stuff. But she's
Okay.
talking about how it could just be it's for creating a safe space and everything. I'm like, I think you're just selling your nudes. I
Okay.
think that's what it is.
Like she puts nudes up there.
Yeah, so if you donate a certain I think it's whatever, a high amount of money, then you will just have access to our nudes. I feel like everybody
Okay.
should just do that. I'm gonna do that. $5 to subscribe, $100 to unsubscribe.
I was thinking about this. I'm a little bit older than you guys. Growing up, getting a nude was huge. Not just the we didn't have text messaging when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did. We had text messaging, but you couldn't get the image. But now that girl you always wanted to see naked in high school, you could probably find it on the iCloud. Everybody probably knows what she looks like at this point.
Or on
Yeah.
Tumblr.
Yeah, or Tumblr.
She posted it on Tumblr for sure.
Someone was talking about that, about how like movies used to be all about like just getting that kiss, you
Yeah.
know, like that one, will you just kiss me? And now it's like, I think Chris Rock does that too. Like he was talking about how, you know, when his dad left for the day, he was gone and he wasn't going to talk to his wife until he came back home. And
Yeah.
now it's like, oh God, now his wife is in his pocket. Like that's his whole thing. And it's like, yeah, you're so right. It's like a 2-month relationship is like really like 8, you know?
Yeah.
It's like-
Like when I was in high school, I wanted to like get your first kiss and all that. But now these kids in high school, they're sophomores, and if the girl's not spitting on your face, then
Yeah.
it's like not first base. It's like it's like they're so desensitized to what sex is, and it's just I don't know. It's just a different era. I'm not used to it as an older man. I don't get it.
How old are you?
I'm 42,
Okay.
so
I'm 32.
I'm actually 36 in LA.
I'm 47 in LA.
So someone in the audience told me that I looked 40 last time at a show, and it hurt my feelings. I'm 26.
Oh,
Oh, my battery's dying.
oh, your battery is dying. It's not good.
This is the side effect of live streaming, guys.
I
No-
got
no-
carded for
nobody's
tobacco
watching.
the other day.
Really?
Yeah, that made me feel really good.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's always
Right.
even when I get carded, I don't get offended. I'm always like, cool, yeah, thank you, keep carding me,
Yeah.
bring it on.
Chad,
I love that.
Have you gotten nudes from fans?
Yeah, I have actually. Oh,
Yay.
here's dummy.
Ready?
Hoppy, you're on the air. Can you hear me?
Chad Zumock, what's up, dude?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro, you sound good. What's up, man?
Joining us in studio, we're doing a swapcast. We got Krystle Chats and Paul Antonio.
What's
What's
up?
up, guys?
What up, Ryan?
Just hanging out.
So you got to put them on your podcast description too, okay?
Whenever they want to come on the show,
They're on right now. They're on right now.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Is your Instagram Ryan Hoppy?
Ryan Hoppy Radio. I want that Ryan Hoppy name, but there's some person that will not give it up, so I have to use Ryan Hoppy Radio.
We need to
Okay.
sick X's fans on the guy that has the handle to give it up.
I'm glad
Yeah,
his number is in
Chad.
there.
What's
Chad,
up?
what happened with that? So you pissed off. You don't even need to say the name of the rapper, like XXX. That's what I call him because I don't want to give him the time of day.
Well, I can't.
What?
I can't say the name of the rapper because I can't pronounce it. It's what is it?
That's kind of my thing too. Is I just pretend that I don't care, but I just don't know how to say it. But what happened last week? You
How
like pissed off a bunch of losers.
Krystle, you know how do you pronounce that guy's name?
It's like XXX Tentation.
Temptation.
Extension. Extension.
Extension.
10 extension. That's the best I can do.
Tension. Yeah, so long story short, we talked about it at the top of the my podcast. Basically, there was a comedian, Dina Haslam. She's a friend of mine from Los Angeles. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me, Ryan?
Yeah, you sound good, bro.
She's a friend of mine. We've worked together, and she told a joke on Comedy Central. And basically, the joke was about this rapper who was tragically killed last year. He was carrying $50,000 cash to buy a car. He was murdered. And her joke was all she could think of was Venmo. It'd be a good commercial for Venmo. And it's not saying anything bad about him, but unfortunately, his dumb fans, they feel this need that they need to rally behind this domestic abuser, this no talent, and they have to defend his honor. So what they try to do is they try to hijack and send death threats to people on Twitter. And with me, one of the fans basically broke into my account, stole the username, bypassed the phone code, and I was out of my account for an entire week. Luckily, the fans stepped up, got my Twitter back, and it was a scary situation, but this could happen to anybody. It's not like a prank. It's a fucking crime. They broke into my Twitter. It's like breaking into a house, breaking into a car. It's serious shit.
Dude, you sound like those girls from like 2 months ago that were like bitching that they lost their account and they were like crying. Remember that?
Who are the
There was that
girls?
One
It's like models.
influencer.
Yeah.
There was an influencer girl. Let me see if I can pull up the video, dude. You sound just like that. I get what you mean, though, about like having your account taken from you. Because then it's like, fuck, what do you do if you lose it?
Yeah.
Well, like I was talking to Krystle and Paul that, you know, we do comedy. It's a part of our brand. It's a part of our business.
Yeah.
And, you know, a couple of the emails I got, they said, oh, we're sorry about your situation. Just start a new account. I'm like, no, fuck you.
No.
I've had this account since 2009. It's how I market things, how I interact with fans. I could advertise my shows. So social media right now for what we do is important. I hate doing it, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, the
We're-
day I quit comedy, this is the day I'm done. Go ahead,
We were
Krystle.
talking about how people are hiring people to do their social media because it's work, you know.
Yeah, there's people. There's a lot of comics I know who have people doing their social media for them, and it's working. Nate Bargatze's one of them. He's, you know, he's blowing up on his own, even though he's on Netflix. But his social media is huge. People come out to the shows. So, any way you can get somebody to come out to the shows, you should do it.
That's very true, dude. Because think about it this way too: websites don't really matter anymore. It's nice to have a website, but people want to know about what your fan base is on social media.
Yeah, it's a big thing. I was talking to comedian Godfrey yesterday, who's kind of has a big following through Instagram, and
Yeah.
you know, this guy's been, in my opinion, and not a lot of people will dispute it, is probably one of the best comics working. He's the best comic working, one of them. But unfortunately, a lot of young people don't know who he is until he hit social media. Now they think this guy's a brilliant genius, but no, he's always been funny. But you just found him through this vehicle that's Instagram.
100%. I want Instagram for like a phone instead of a phone number. It's like I even tell people that you're a better chance that I'm gonna respond to you on Instagram.
Yeah, you don't even get girls' numbers anymore. It's like, what's your handle?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days, you get a girl's number and go home and dial on a rotary phone. But now it's
Dude.
DMs.
Chad,
Yeah.
there's girls I've been talking to for a few months. I don't have their number. I talk to them through Snapchat. It's weird. Think about that.
Snapchat still?
Yeah, you snap back and forth, or you message back and forth.
Oh
There-
yeah, I know
yeah.
what Snapchat is.
There was a girl whose number I got. I didn't know her name for 3 weeks, and we went out. So it's a weird day and age that we live in.
Absolutely.
Just you and
Here's what's weird is they don't want to give out their number because they want to be safe, but then they have their location on Snapchat, so like you can literally see where they're at. I would never do anything, but so many people leave their location on Snapchat. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, sometimes girls
Yeah.
won't even give out their Instagram. What happened to the good old days when you could just follow them home? Zing. By the way, where's our show going to be, Paul? After that amazing joke I just broke.
August 28th, O'Donovan's Pub, downtown Pomona. Me, Chad, Jamie Kennedy, Craig Conant, and Alexis Prigo.
There it is.
Yeah,
Man,
Alex
did you sell that shit?
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I hype it up. Well, I'm like, who's his name? Jamie? That's who's going to be there.
I saw him at the Improv the other day. He crushed.
Oh, yeah, he's a killer.
And speaking of Tampa, where Ryan Hoppy is based out of, The Bone, I will be at Side Splitters with Jim Florentine Wednesday, September 25th to the 29th. Pick up your tickets, sidesplitters.com. We'll be on Mike Calta Thursday or Friday. We'll possibly be on Hoppy Hour again, right, Ryan?
Damn right, dude. You got to come on here in person. You got to come in.
Sounds good, man.
Because we did it at that one place. What's that comedy club in Newport Richie? Like 3 years ago, Snappers Bar and Grill. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Good times, man.
Yeah.
Good times.
No, Ryan is we both had radio careers. It started in Cleveland, and he moved down to Tampa, and I'm in Los Angeles now. So we've always, even before Ryan was in radio, like we would stay in touch. But he's a good guy. He has a popular, isn't it Tampa's #1 podcast or something?
Something like that. I'm trying to make it bigger besides Tampa, but I do very well in Tampa.
That's
I
great.
can't Chad, you're doing well, dude. I mean, think about it this way. Like, you went from just being known in Cleveland to all of a sudden going on every national radio show. I mean, that's pretty cool, dude.
Well, I'm Patton Oswalt's favorite comic, and I think that's really what sets me aside from the pack. Is
Dude.
I've been embraced by great comics like Ian Bagg, Patton Oswalt. Just guys who really understand what I'm trying to do on stage, and
Makes sense.
it's a
'Cause
badge of honor.
When I think of great comedy, Ian Bagg just comes to my mind, dude. I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm really
Patton
disappointed I've never
Oswalt-
seen him.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a good
Patton-
comic.
Dude, okay, Patton Oswalt, he was good on King of Queens or whatever, but all he does is bitch about Trump. And I'm not going to give my opinion on Trump, but it's like, Jesus Christ, he like leads the pack. Him and Michael Ian Black on just crying all day about Trump. And like, come on now.
Yeah.
Just join Chelsea Handler and become an activist.
Yeah. Why does female comics they get popular and they go crazy, they quit comedy, become activists? Like Chelsea, like what the fuck are you doing?
Hey, she's on a book tour. It's actually awesome. She literally reads the first chapter of her book as the opener of her show. She's
Oh.
like, "I'm gonna read this first chapter to you," and she reads it, and that's her show. And then she sits down and has one of her girlfriends interview her,
Oh my
and
god.
that's her tour. Yeah,
Come
and,
on.
and you get a free book. You get her book.
I guess you're her fan. I don't know.
You don't really have to write material.
I know.
I'm gonna do that at the clubs. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
recite
you
the
just have
first
to write a
10
book.
minutes of this podcast, and then
Yeah,
I'll sell
exactly.
copies of it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I had something published a couple years back in a book called "Look at My Striped Shirt." I'm just gonna read that chapter that I wrote.
And she's a huge cannabis activist right now as well. Like that's-
Really?
Yeah, she's pushing cannabis.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit,
You
going
guys
out on a
need-
limb, Chelsea. Wow,
Yeah.
way to rage against the machine, pushing cannabis.
She talks about because like she had her breakdown came from Trump.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, that's her whole thing.
Everyone's losing their fucking mind. Who cares?
Oh no.
I had Jimmy Schubert here. Me and
Jimmy Schubert.
I got to interview him, and I didn't know his politics that well. So the entire time I was just like, yeah, and he was just like, everybody, Trump is sensitive, blah blah blah. But he's like super on the other side about it. But I was like, they're annoying on both sides.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
So what do you got, Ryan?
Oh, I was gonna say, she seems like the type of person, Chelsea, who takes 2 hits of a blunt and is like, "Oh my God, I am so high," and then just puts the blunt away and wants people to think that she's this huge pothead.
I mean, she did date 50 Cent, so
Did she date 50 Cent?
yeah.
Holy shit.
That wasn't a stunt.
Nah, it wasn't
No?
a stunt.
Dude,
Okay.
about a month ago, I was at the Four Seasons in Los Angeles, and I went in a steam room, and 50 Cent was standing there, and I'm just like, oh, this is weird. So we're in a steam room together. It was very odd. Very weird place to run into 50 Cent. So I fucked him.
What's he like?
Mm.
I'm just kidding. No, he was just, hey, what's up? What's up? And I saw the bullet holes and shit. It was pretty cool.
Did you really?
Yeah, he had his shirt off. I was staring at his
That's
masculine
awesome, dude.
chest.
I always wonder, like, what are you doing there? Like, or what were you doing there?
I was visiting a friend.
In the steam room?
I
Nah.
know, right? Like,
No, my friend came in. He was staying at the Four Seasons, and we were
Okay.
poolside. And I said, "Well, we have access to the steam room. I'm going to go in there."
okay.
And it worked out really well. So
Okay, yeah, and then what the hell is 50 doing in there? You know,
that's a
like,
good question.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
can't
Who-
answer. I can't.
Who are you visiting?
I can't
50?
speak on the behalf of 50 Cent. I can't do it.
Okay, fine. But you can fuck him.
I can. Now, is this a riveting interview or what? Because we're going to be wrapping up on our end. Where we at, Paul?
55.
55. Okay, we got about 5 minutes. Ryan? Is this what you needed?
This is great. I just thought I felt bad. There was like 2 times you guys were talking, and I was talking over you in the background because of my narcissism. So I'm just kind of letting it flow. You know what I mean?
Juicy.
I had to make it about me, and then I'm like, wait, I'm on Chad's show. I'll shut up.
Well, every radio show guy makes it about themselves, so don't feel bad about that.
Dude, there's some radio guys when they do interviews over the phone, and maybe they're interviewing a comic or some alpha male figure, and the radio host is an alpha male figure. Dude, you can listen to these phone interviews, and for like 8 minutes, it's 2 dudes trying to be the loudest in the room. It is so cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Nothing works.
Not like us, where we just shut down and go, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I agree.
This is a really edgy show. We really pushed the line here.
All right, before we end, let's start a feud. Who do you want to start a feud with?
Yeah, who's your feud with, Hoppy? Let's go.
I don't know. I gotta think of one.
I'm going
gotta
to start
think
doing that at the
a
end of
few
every
that-
podcast. Call someone out.
Yeah.
That's my new thing.
Because I have been thinking about that. I have to have my moment where I piss off people enough. Like, I've made the trades for interviewing Anthony and being the first show to have him say he'll never work with Opie again. But that's a side note. But what I'm saying is I haven't had my moment yet where, like, I've pissed off a person and they're like, oh, my God, Ryan, Happy Radio is such a fuckhead. And then everybody adds me and listens. I'm kind of waiting for that moment, Chad.
Yeah, it's I've had those moments. I don't know if it serves you well, but sometimes you get the respect of your peers when you don't give a shit. But I don't actively try to shit on people. I'm not like, I got to have a legitimate thing behind it. Like, I'm not like looking to, okay, maybe this will get me some heat. Like, I actually believe in what I'm saying about somebody. Like that rapper, I thought he was terrible, and I hate what his fans did to my friend. So that's why I started shit with his fans. Patton, I don't agree with his, in my opinion, his whole political Hollywood kiss ass attitude. That's just my opinion. I'm not speaking on your behalf, by the way. So yeah.
Okay. You guys want me to play? I have Spotify over here. This song he has 1 billion listens.
A billion?
Yes, 1 billion listens. I will play like 5 seconds. I don't want you guys to go down.
Yeah.
And there we go.
What is that?
Sad.
It's called
What?
Sad?
Yeah.
You know this song? If you guys like this guy, I'm sorry.
I've fucked to this song.
You fucked to this song?
Yeah, with tears running down my face.
Daddy issues in
And,
your eyes.
and doesn't he say suicide in the song?
Yeah.
Suicide. That you die for the pussy.
Yeah.
Is that what
You
happened?
die for the pussy?
Is that what-
I killed myself for the pussy.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, I think that's the lyric. That's the hidden lyric. I killed myself for the pussy.
No, but he does say it goes suicide. Dun, 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 dun,
I'm
dun,
gonna
dun.
get shot for
Suicide.
$50,000 cash.
Dina Hashem, hit me up. Let's start a podcast.
Venmo is the way to go.
Ryan, where can people find you? We're gonna shut this bitch down.
I mean, you can add me on Twitter and social media at Ryan Hoppy Radio, but the most important thing is after you're done listening to Sit Down Zumock or the Joe Rogan show talking about Area 51.
Thank you
go
for
to
putting us in the same sentence. Okay, that's
Yeah.
exactly
any
where I need to be.
podcast- Yes, you need to be talking about Area 51 for some reason.
Yeah, what's
Go to
going on with that? Everyone's going there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
Dude.
want to see the aliens.
they're trying to break in. They just tried to
Yeah.
break into my family's
They're like,
house.
they can't stop 1,000,000 of us.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Chat.
Yeah,
So the dude that began that campaign is some like pothead 20-year-old from like Phoenix, Arizona, who was on Inside Edition last week, and he was just like, I don't know, I just wanted to make this Facebook page. So like everyone's freaking out over it, and it's some pothead that was high and bored at his house in Phoenix.
oh, everyone's losing their minds. It's great. It's Firefest Part 2. I'm in. I'm going to Area 51. All right, Ryan. Thanks for
All right,
having
thank
us
you,
on the
bro.
show.
Thank you.
Anytime, dude.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, guys.
Talk
That's
to you
it.
soon, buddy. All right. That was Ryan Hoppy joining us on the Lawson's Chip Dip Hotline. This was a great show. We got to know you, Krystle.
Yes.
And
Nice to meet you.
I
Thank
know-
you for having me.
no, thank you. And we already plugged our shit, but yeah,
sure.
subscribe to your podcast.
Yeah.
Follow us all on social media. Hit up our Patreons. Go to Krystle's Patreon where she posts nothing but gets money. It's a great. I like what she's doing over
I
there.
didn't know.
She has so
I'll
much
start-
money.
I'll start posting, and then I'll come back with 4K.
That's the. I like the business model. You give me money, and
My-
I'll just say.
And I just want to say my second toe is longer than my first toe. So if you're into that kind of thing, I'll send pics.
Really?
Yeah.
I could one up you. One's different on the other foot.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mine is too, actually.
I'll keep
Right?
writing
Yeah.
dumb jokes, hoping that pays off, and we'll see what happens with that. Until next time, that's a wrap. Good night.